Hello and welcome back to the English Podcast Lab. I'm your host, Mike, and today we're going to be diving deep into something I think we all deal with, life's challenges.
Absolutely.
And to help me navigate this topic, I'm joined by Sarah.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
So everyone faces hurdles in life, right? But what can we learn from them? How can we use these experiences to actually, become stronger and better versions of ourselves?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is. Today we're going to unpack some fascinating ideas about reframing those so-called failures.
Yeah.
Asking for help without shame, and even finding gratitude in the toughest of times.
Those are all such great topics.
Yeah. So let's start by acknowledging the elephant in the room. We've all been through it. Job losses that shake you to your core relationships that fall apart. And even those daily struggles to just fit in or figure out what the right thing to do is.
Yeah, we all face these challenges, both personally and as part of society. It's true. But it's really how we view these challenges that matters. Because these hurdles, they're not just obstacles. They're opportunities. They're disguised as difficulties.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's not about avoiding the bumps on the road. It's about using them to become more resilient.
Exactly.
There's a great analogy I like about, a lifeline. Road life throws all these twists and turns at us, but each one has a hidden lesson tucked away.
Yeah, and there's a really great 4-step method for overcoming these challenges that's inspired by Buddha.
Oh, really?
And it starts with acceptance. We have to fully acknowledge the situation, whatever it may be, no sugarcoating, no denial, just a clear-eyed view of reality.
So it's about letting go of that initial resistance, that urge to fight against what we can't change.
Exactly. And from that place of acceptance, we move to observation. And we try to detach a little bit from our immediate emotions, and we try to see the situation objectively, almost like taking a mental step back.
It's like pausing before reacting, right? Instead of just making a rash decision, we take a breath. We assess the situation clearly.
Exactly. And once we've done that, then we can move on to action.
Yeah.
And this is where we face our fears head on and we take those concrete steps to address the challenge. And this is where a positive mindset becomes crucial.
Right. Believing you can overcome the obstacle is a huge part of actually doing it.
It is.
So how does gratitude fit into all of this? It seems a bit counterintuitive to feel grateful when you're in the thick of a really difficult situation.
It might seem that way at first, but gratitude is about shifting our focus even slightly from what's wrong to what's right.
Okay.
Even in the darkest times, there are always things to appreciate.
Right.
Whether it's the love of your family, the lessons that you're learning, or simply the fact that you're here alive and ready to face another day.
That's a really beautiful way to look at it. It's about finding those glimmers of hope, no matter how small, and letting them guide you forward.
It is. And that practice of gratitude, even when it's hard, is what builds true resilience. It allows us to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth.
I like that.
But, let's be real, it's not always easy to stay positive. No.
We all have those nagging inner voices, the doubts and the fears that can really paralyze us.
Oh, tell me about it. Those voices can be so loud sometimes.
They can.
They make it feel almost impossible to move forward. It's like this constant battle with your own mind.
It's a universal struggle, Mike. Mastering our thoughts and overcoming that negative self-talk is a journey, and it's a lifelong one for a lot of us.
Yeah.
But there are tools we can use to quiet those negative voices and reclaim our inner peace.
So what are they? How do we start believing in ourselves again when those negative thoughts are just so deeply rooted?
Well, one of the most powerful tools is mindfulness and meditation.
Okay.
These practices help us become aware of our thoughts without judgment, allowing us to detach from those negative patterns.
So it's about creating that space between ourselves and those thoughts so they don't have complete control over us.
That's exactly it. And another really powerful tool is self-reflection. Taking the time to understand where those negative thoughts come from can be really helpful.
Oftentimes they're rooted in past experiences or beliefs we've internalized over the years.
It's about seeing those patterns, right? Recognizing how our past might be influencing our current reactions to challenges.
Exactly. And once we see them, we can start to challenge them and reframe them. We can rewrite the narrative, choosing to focus on the present moment and create a new and more empowering story for ourselves.
It's about taking ownership of our thoughts and recognizing that we do have the power to change them.
We do.
And this reminds me of something I read recently about the importance of actually feeling your feelings.
Yes.
It's so tempting to just bury them or pretend they're not there.
Right.
But that only seems to make things worse in the long run.
It does. Suppressing our emotions is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater.
Oh, yeah,
It's bound to resurface with even greater force.
it will.
So it's important to allow ourselves to feel the full spectrum of emotions, even the difficult ones.
So how do we do that in a healthy way?
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
Well, there are a lot of different approaches. Some people find journaling or creative expression incredibly therapeutic,
Yeah,
whether it's through art or music or writing.
I know. I find writing really helps me process things. It's like getting all those thoughts out of your head and onto paper where you can start to make sense of them.
Yeah, it can be very freeing. And for others, simply talking to a trusted friend, a mentor, or a therapist can make a world of difference.
Sometimes just having someone listen to you without judgment can be such a powerful experience.
It can be life-changing. The key is to find what works for you, creating that safe space to process those emotions in a way that feels authentic and supportive.
This has been so insightful, Sarah. We've covered so much grounds already, from reframing challenges to mastering our minds and embracing our emotions.
We have, haven't we?
And it all boils down to the fact that challenges are inevitable, but they don't have to control us.
Right.
We have the power to choose how we respond.
We do.
And that's something I really want our listeners to take away from this deep dive. But before we move on, I want to talk about one more incredibly important aspect of navigating challenges: asking for help.
Yeah, it's something so many of us struggle with. Yet it's essential for our well-being and our success.
There's still so much shame and stigma around it, right? We're often conditioned to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness.
I couldn't agree more. But the truth is, it takes real strength to admit you don't have all the answers and to reach out for support.
I think we sometimes forget that everyone needs help at some point in their lives. It's just part of being human.
It absolutely is. And when we ask for help, we're not only helping ourselves, we're giving others the opportunity to be supportive and to connect with us on a deeper level.
It's about building that sense of community, that shared experience, right? Understanding that we're all in this together.
Exactly.
We don't have to face these challenges alone.
We are all interconnected.
And I think that's a beautiful sentiment and a perfect note to end this part of our conversation on. But don't worry, we'll be right back to dive deeper into navigating life's challenges. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. It's amazing how many different kinds of challenges life throws at us, isn't it?
It really is. From a student stressing over exams, to an entrepreneur facing a business setback, to someone coping with a personal loss, it seems like everyone's fighting their own battles.
You're right, the specifics they do vary so much. But here's the fascinating part. The skills we need to overcome them are often remarkably similar.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not about having like a unique solution for each problem. It's more like building a toolbox of skills that can help us face almost anything.
That's a great way to put it. Think of it as strengthening a mental muscle, one that helps you navigate all of life's ups and downs with more grace and resilience.
Okay, I like that analogy. So what are some of the key tools we need to build up this resilience muscle of ours?
Well, one of the most fundamental ones is critical thinking. It's that ability to analyze a situation objectively, to really understand the root cause, and to come up with solutions instead of just getting swept away by emotion.
That makes a lot of sense, because when you're in the middle of a crisis, it's so easy to get lost in how you feel and kind of lose sight of the bigger picture.
Absolutely. But critical thinking helps us step back, detach from those immediate reactions, and look at the situation with a clear, rational mind.
Like swapping those emotion-tinted glasses for a pair that let you see clearly.
Exactly. And alongside critical thinking, we also need effective communication. This helps us express our needs, seek support, and work with others to find solutions.
You know, I think a lot of people underestimate how important communication is when they're struggling. You know, we might suffer in silence when reaching out can make a huge difference.
You're so right. That is so common. Whether it's a trusted friend, a mentor, or a therapist, just sharing our struggles can help us feel less alone, gain new perspectives, and receive that support we need.
It's true what they say. A problem shared is a problem halved. And you know what else comes to mind? Being adaptable. Life is full of surprises. So being able to change plans, embrace new viewpoints, and learn from our mistakes is essential.
Especially in today's world where everything's changing so fast, adaptability is becoming more and more valuable as we navigate all this uncertainty.
Like being a surfer riding the waves.
Yeah,
You can't control the ocean, but you can learn to ride those waves even when they get rough.
Perfect metaphor. And of course, we can't forget resilience itself, that ability to bounce back from setbacks, keep going despite challenges, and hold on to hope even when things feel really tough.
It's like having that inner spring that keeps you from getting completely flattened by life's blows.
Exactly. It's that inner strength that helps you get back on your feet and keep moving forward.
So far, we've got critical thinking, communication, adaptability, and resilience itself. Are there any other essential tools for this resilience toolbox we're building?
Those are some core ones. But there are a lot of others that can be incredibly helpful. For example, time management can be invaluable.
Oh, yeah.
For prioritizing tasks, setting boundaries, and reducing stress.
That's a good point. It's easy to feel so overwhelmed when things pile up, and that just adds to the stress of whatever challenge you're already dealing with.
Exactly. Good time management can help you stay focused, productive, and more in control, even when things feel really chaotic.
Yeah, it kind of creates that order and structure, which can be so grounding when everything else feels like it's falling apart.
Yeah.
What about creativity? Does that play a role in facing challenges?
Absolutely. Sometimes the usual solutions just don't cut it. We need to think outside the box, try new things, and be willing to experiment. Creativity is all about resourcefulness, isn't it?
It is. It's about finding new ways to solve problems, even when you feel stuck.
And that leads us to the power of collaboration. We don't have to go it alone,
That's so true. It's about recognizing that we're stronger together and that by combining our skills and resources, we can overcome even the toughest obstacles.
Exactly. Which brings us back to that crucial element, building a strong support network. Having people you can rely on who can offer encouragement, guidance, and even practical help makes all the difference in how you weather a storm.
And that kind of circles back to asking for help, doesn't it? It's not just about having those people around. It's about being brave enough to reach out and ask for what you need.
You've got it. Asking for help is a sign of self-awareness, not weakness. And it's such a vital part of building that collaborative spirit.
It's admitting you're not superhuman, that everyone needs a helping hand sometimes. That reminds me, it's amazing how everything we've talked about just connects, from reframing challenges to asking for help and finding gratitude.
It is.
But one thing that keeps coming back to me is how much our personal stories shape the way we face these hurdles.
That's such a vital point. We each carry around this unique narrative, a set of lenses that really color how we see the world and the challenges that we face within it.
Yeah, it's like some people see a challenge and immediately think threat, while others see it as an opportunity.
Exactly.
And I have to think our past experiences play a huge role in forming those reactions.
You are absolutely right. Our early experiences, upbringing, even the stories we're told as children, they all contribute to the narrative we create about ourselves and how we fit into the world.
So someone who's had a lot of struggles in the past that felt impossible to overcome, they might approach new challenges with more fear or hesitation.
Precisely. Their inner story might be, I'm just not good at getting over these things, or life is always going to be a struggle.
Right.
And these beliefs, unfortunately, can become self-fulfilling prophecies if we let them.
So we're almost trapped by our own stories.
In a sense, yes. But the good news is we're not powerless. We can rewrite those stories.
Okay, now that's empowering. Tell me more. How do we break free from these limiting narratives?
Well, the first step is awareness. We have to become conscious of the stories that we tell ourselves. The beliefs, the assumptions, the interpretations that shape our experience.
It's like hitting the pause button on that internal tape recorder and really listening to what's playing.
That's it, exactly. And once we're aware of those stories, we can start to question them. Are they truly accurate? Are they helping us? Or are they holding us back from our full potential?
It's like we're challenging those old beliefs.
Yeah.
Looking for a new, more empowering way to view the situation.
Exactly. And that's where reframing comes in. It's about consciously choosing to shift your perspective, to find the hidden opportunity or lesson within the challenge.
So instead of saying, I can't do this, we might say, this is going to be tough, but I'm determined to learn from it.
That's the spirit. Changing the language we use both internally and externally helps us create a more positive and empowering narrative.
I imagine that shift in perspective can have like a ripple effect on everything.
Yeah.
Our thoughts, our feelings, even how we act.
Without a doubt. When you reframe a challenge as an opportunity, you're more likely to approach it with curiosity, determination, maybe even excitement.
Yeah.
And those positive emotions fuel your actions, and they can really lead to better outcomes.
So it's not just about thinking positive. It's about taking action based on that new outlook.
That's the key. It's about aligning your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions to create a more resilient approach to any challenge that comes your way.
And this all ties back to what we talked about earlier, being present in the moment.
Right.
If we're stuck in those old stories, we're often dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
You're so right. But when we're truly present, we can observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing ourselves to respond to challenges with more skill and awareness.
It's about becoming the author of our own stories, instead of letting the past dictate our future.
Beautifully said. And that's such a powerful message for everyone listening. You have the power to rewrite your story, reframe those challenges, and create a life that's more fulfilling and meaningful than you ever thought possible.
Sarah, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with our listeners today.
The pleasure was all mine, Mike. I always enjoy our discussions.
And to everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into talking about life's challenges. Remember, they're a part of the journey, but they don't define you. Embrace the opportunity to learn, grow, and rewrite your story. And if you're facing a challenge right now, don't hesitate to reach out for support. You're not alone on this path. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.